Hello, my crafty friends. It's Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and today I'm going to share with you a card, quick and easy. This is my inspiration. This is my diffuser that I have in my office, and I was walking by it on my way out on Friday, and I was like, that would make a really pretty card, so I better take a picture of that. So I am using my Misty with just a piece of white cardstock. I have treated that with my anti-static powder tool, and I am taking this flower. It's not really flowers, it's more like a twig. I'm not really sure what to call it. It's from the Simon Says Stamp Real Flowers Vintage Stamp Set. It was from Stamptember, I believe last year. It was a combination between Simon Says Stamp and Hero Arts, so I'm sure it's not available, but you could use any floral type arrangement that you had. So I am stamping that in the center. I am coating it. I stamped it with Versamark ink. I'm coating it with some white embossing powder from Burtis Monroe. I'm going to heat set that so that I can see where it is, because it's hard to tell sometimes on white paper when you're embossing in white of where your image is. So I'm going to get that heat set. Then I'm going to take a piece of plastic that I had on my desk, and I'm going to put that down on my paper so that I can reposition the stamp to the left and to the right of this center image, so that I can have the entire bottom of my panel be covered with this image. And see what happened here? My papers warped. You know why? Because I didn't warm up my heat tool enough. I was impatient and just went for it, and it really curled it, but I was able to get my stamping done with no issues. And because it's on both sides of this and I can see where the center image is, I'm going to stamp them both first and then coat it with the alabaster embossing powder, and again get that heat set until it's smooth and melted. So with the embossing powder, if you've never used it before, once you get your sticky ink set down, and it doesn't have to be Versamark, just so you know, you can use other inks that if they stay wet long enough, just you need enough time to be able to stamp it down and get your embossing powder onto the image so that it sticks. The Versamark or the clear sticky ink does work well because it does stay wet, to give you enough time to do that. But if you're quick enough, you can use it with a lot of different inks. Like I bet this Catherine Pooler ink that I'm going to use for my ink blending would work well with it. So I'm just going to finish getting those all coated. And I did take my tool-in-one to clean up some areas after I stamped the word friend. So I clean up my mess, realized I still have to stamp a sentiment. I thought I was going to stamp what I thought was thinking of you. Turns out it said thank you, so I didn't want that. So I went with friend instead. So I'm putting this in my Misty. I'm going to treat it with my powder bag and stamp the sentiment down. But when I did, the letter D kind of got a little wonky. It was a little bit thicker than I wanted it to be, so I just took the point of my tool-in-one from Spellbinders and just scraped a little bit off until it was a shape that was more in line with the rest of the letters, if that makes sense. And then I heat it up. So you can, even if you have fine grains of embossing powder that are in your way, you can use a pokey tool of some kind, whatever you have in your stash, in order to clear just those single grains away. If you have a lot, then I would use a dry paintbrush and swipe those away. But I'm just going to get that coated. And here I am. See, I'm going to fix this letter. I also have the Ranger pens, the embossing pens, so that if you were not able to get a good impression, you could run over it with that and put down your embossing powder, which is what I'm doing right now because it didn't stamp quite nicely the first time that I did it for the dot on the I, and the F needed a little bit of attention. So now I'm using Flirty Fuchsia and just a blending sponge, and I'm going to ink blend this all over this background. The beautiful thing about my diffuser is it changes color. So there's a lot of colors that would be perfect for this, but I wanted to go with a purple. It's not necessarily a match for the actual glass, but nobody's going to know that. I'm letting you know that that was my inspiration, because you can find inspiration for cards just about anywhere. Leave me a comment below. Where's your favorite place to find inspiration for card making? Is that YouTube? Do you use Pinterest? Random things like I just was using. What's your favorite little secret for getting some inspiration? And I needed to coat this twice to get the true color, because the first time I did it, it was a bit splotchy, but it smoothed right out. And then I'm going to take a tissue and just wipe off where the embossing areas are, because that will take some of that ink that's sitting on top and bring back the white of all of this. And then I'm going to get that adhered to a card panel with some foam tape. And that is going to be today's project. Quick and easy, with a little bit of random inspiration. As always, I hope that you guys have a great day.